Good morning, family, friends, and shipmates. Welcome to the Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division Change of Command and Retirement Ceremony, at which Captain Mark H. Oesterreich, United States Navy, will be relieved by Captain Duncan McKay, United States Navy. Captain, United States Navy, arriving. Naval Surface Warfare Center, Crane Division, arriving. Technical Director, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Crane Division, arriving. Indiana, arriving. Executive Director, NSWC Warfare Centers, arriving. The change of command is a time-honored tradition, formally restating the continuity of authority. It is a formal ritual conducted before the assembly company of the command, as well as honored guests and dignitaries. The change of command is unique in the world today. It is a transfer of total responsibility, authority, and accountability from one individual to another. Letters of congratulations have been received from members of the Indiana delegation and NSWC Warfare Centers. It is my pleasure to read those now. Commander Naval Warfare Center, Commander Naval Undersea Warfare Center, Captain Oesterreich, it is my pleasure to express my appreciation for the outstanding job you have done during your tour as commanding officer at Naval Warfare Center Crane Division. Since assuming command in July 2017, you have distinguished yourself through exemplary strategic direction, embodiment of the highest ethical standards, and unparalleled dedication to serving NSWC Crane and our nation. You have directly contributed to the heightened technical leadership and national recognition in NSWC Crane's three mission areas: strategic missions, electronic warfare, and expeditionary warfare. Throughout your tour, you exemplified outstanding naval leadership, providing steady ethical guidance and building on a common mission. Congratulations on all that you have accomplished throughout your career. Thank you for your service and unyielding commitment to maintaining our nation's freedom. Sincerely, K.P. Byrne, Rear Admiral, United States Navy. From Congress of the United States, House of Representatives. Dear Captain Oesterreich, it is a distinct pleasure to commend you on your many years of service to our nation and to offer my best wishes as you leave your current assignment as commanding officer at Naval Warfare Center Crane Division. Your efforts have exemplified the mission of delivering innovative solutions and readiness to the nation and our warfighters. You have been a steadfast friend and knowledgeable resource to me and my staff at your time at Crane. It has been a sincere honor to work with you. I join all Hoosiers in extending thanks and best wishes for a job well done. In the highest tradition of the United States Navy, with much pride as a former Navy reservist, I wish you fair winds and following seas. Sincerely, Larry Bashan, MD, United States House of Representatives. From the United States Senate, Captain Oesterreich, congratulations on your retirement from the Navy. You have dedicated all of your life in service to the United States of America, and on behalf of Hoosiers and all Americans, I thank you for your patriotism and devotion to our country. You have led a phenomenal team, helping progress the mission of Crane in harnessing the power of technology for the warfighter and ensuring our men and women of the armed forces remain a step ahead of our competition. Through your efforts to establish a sustainable talent pipeline and encouraging collaboration with private partners, you have left a lasting legacy at NSWC Crane. I know that military service is a family calling, so I would be remiss if I did not also thank your wife, Kimberly, and your children for their sacrifice throughout your naval career. I wish you the utmost success as you embark on your civilian career. Thank you for your service. Your friend in service, Todd Young, United States Senator. From Congress, United States House of Representatives. Captain Oesterreich, I write to express my sincere appreciation for your leadership at Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division as you transition into the next chapter and civilian life. I have truly appreciated working with you and with the women and men of Crane that you led. As you know, NSWC Crane's work is vital to our nation's national defense, and I'm sure you are as proud to lead the professionals at NSWC Crane as I am to represent them in Congress. I wish you and your family well in your future undertakings. If I can ever be of assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. I wish you fair winds and following seas. Be of good cheer. Trey Hollingsworth, U.S. Representative. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Ms. Patricia Herndon, Acting Technical Director, NSWC Crane.
Good morning, everyone. It certainly is an honor to be here on behalf of the Crane Executive Leadership Team and Acting Technical Director. So, Captain O, it's been 3 years, and it seems like just yesterday we were welcoming you and your family to this command, but time has flown by. However, even though time has flown by, it feels like we've known you a lifetime. You came into this command with your wit, your kind heart, and your strong leadership. You taught us how to manage and balance multiple relationships with the fleet, with OpNav, the PEOs, and though sometimes times were difficult, you continue to encourage us, and we met our task completely and on schedule. So for that, we thank you. I knew that I could not think upon myself all the great things that had happened over the 3 years. So I decided to ask my peers across the executive leadership team 2 things. And the 2 questions I asked were, number 1, what is your favorite Captain O moment? And number 2, what is Captain O's most important accomplishments? So I bet you could maybe guess what the favorite Captain O moment is. It is his wonderful jokes. So we all really enjoyed your jokes. And most of all, some people pointed out that it was even more funny when some of us, Dr. Seidel, didn't even get the jokes, but we really enjoyed them. So to make sure that you never run out of jokes, I have for you here dad jokes, 1,000 clean and absurdly lame jokes. So secondly, one of the things they said was your use of the word sporty. So when things got tough and things got complicated, Captain O would sit back in that chair in his office and say, it's going to get sporty. And certainly it did get sporty. But with his calm sense and his confidence, we always prevailed. And for that, we thank you. There were many, many accomplishments, probably more accomplishments too numerous to name. Some of the letters of recognition pointed out some of the things that you did. But most notably was your leadership that helped us over multiple fleet installations and modernizations. Also, we want to thank you for your leadership of bringing together all the local commands. You and all your fellow commanders achieved great things over the last 3 years for this installation and for NSWC Crane. And for that, thank you. But at the pinnacle of what you will be remembered for is your calm demeanor and your measured response to all issues and challenges. You told us when you came in that there is no good news, there is no bad news, it's just news. And you put a calmness to our workforce when they had issues and concerns that they had to present to you. And through your leadership, you empowered the workforce and we always succeeded. So for that, thank you again. We also thank Kimberly, Mrs. O, and the 2 kids for their service over the last 3 years and for your dedication to the blood drives that we had at this command. We had extreme success with the leadership that Mrs. O provided to us. So for that, thank you. Also, in appreciation, the executive leadership team would like to present to you a photo album. It is a memory of all of the things, hopefully, that you did and can look back in that photo album and smile over the years as you move on to the next chapter in your life. But most importantly, we thank you for your 29 years of service to the United States Navy, and most importantly, the last 3 years that you committed to this command. So fair winds and following seas as you move on to the next chapter of your life, and may God bless you and your family. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Major General Cliff Tooley Jr. Major General Tooley serves as President of Defense Development for Indiana Economic Development Corporation and appointed by Governor Eric J. Holcomb in 2019. Please welcome Major General Tooley.
Well, thank you for having us here today. I bring greetings from our governor and our lieutenant governor and my boss, the Secretary of Commerce. And it's a great day for not only Crane, but for the state of Indiana. We know that that Crane, Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane, is a true national treasure. with its primary role and purpose in life is to provide our warfighters that are out there in harm's way, the decisive edge, so that they can win the fight and they can return home safely to their families. And Crane has been at the forefront of that for so long in so many different areas, spreading from their strategic missions all the way down to their expeditionary warfare. It covers the entire spectrum of warfighting. And we so recognize that, and we consider it here as the state of Indiana as being a true blessing to have this unique capability, this unique treasure right here located in the heart of America. And but from a state perspective, though, is looking at Crane as to the impact it's had, the positive impact it's had upon all Hoosiers. One of the little factoids out there in life is just we know that Crane is doing business not only nationally, but internationally and so on. But here for a little old state of Indiana, Crane also represents the #2 largest defense business in the state. And if you're interested, the only one that's slightly bigger in terms of local impact is Rolls-Royce. And so we view you as a huge resource and asset in terms of the impact you have in terms of providing work for Hoosiers, indirectly through contracts and this type of stuff, but also in the fact that the quality workforce that you have that's stationed here and lives here in the community and so on. And I also like to add the fact that not only is it in terms of just a direct economic impact, but Crane over the last 3 years, particularly under Captain Oesterreich's leadership, has gone through a transformation from our perspective too, from being just a laboratory as part of that elaborate system out there of defense, but being an innovation leader. It is becoming the heart of what we refer to as the Silicon Midwest. And with all of its different programs and activities that it's done, the recognition it's getting, the resources being put in here, because in recognition of the quality workforce they have and the way they look outside the lines, if you will, in terms of looking for opportunities and stuff. And so over the last 3 years, and you heard the different descriptions of all the different events that they've gone through, Crane is taking a national leadership in changing the way our defense approaches our current fight. The ability to get ahead of these fastly emerging threats out there in the universe, as represented by the hostile powers that you read about in every day in the news. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate the leadership that you have provided and the inspiration you're given to the team that you bring to this fight. But I just want you to know that you're part of the family here. You're a Hoosier forever. I don't know what the kids and the wife thinks about that, but having moved around in the universe a lot myself over the times, I just want you to know that you'll always be part of this family, and your name will all go up there amongst the pantheon of people who have had a historic, pronounced, positive impact upon the people of this state and the people of this country. And so just a token of our appreciation and recognition of that, I've got a couple of things that I want to present to you in recognition of the fact that Crane plays such a huge role here for the betterment of Indiana, sitting here in terms of impact upon all of our Hoosiers and also our businesses and companies here. We would like to present to you this flag. This is a state of Indiana flag. It's not something that a typical military person has in their display case out there, but this is a flag that was flown over our Capitol, and it's signed. It's got a letter assigned attested to it from the governor saying that that is presented to him in recognition of what service that he's done for the betterment of our citizens of the state. So in Indiana, the highest award that the governor can give to one of its citizens for distinguished service is an award that's titled as the Sagamore of the Wabash. And this award is being conveyed upon him. This honor is being conveyed upon him today by the governor. So I would like to just take a moment to read this. State of Indiana, the Council of the Sagamores of the Wabash, Eric J. Holcomb, Governor of the State of Indiana, know all men by these presents. Whereas the greatness of the sons of Indiana derives, in part, from qualities possessed by the noble chieftains of the Indian tribes which once roamed its domain, And whereas it has been the immemorial custom of the state of Indiana to attract to its support those who have exhibited such qualities, and whereas there has endeared himself to the citizens of Indiana one Captain Mark H. Oesterreich, distinguished by his humanity in living, his loyalty and friendship, his wisdom and counsel, and his inspiration and leadership. Now, therefore, recognizing his greatness and desiring to avail myself of his counsel, I do hereby appoint him a chieftain upon my staff with the rank and title of Sagamore of the Wabash. Witness my hand in the seal of the Council of the Sagamores at Indianapolis, Indiana, this the 30th day of June in the year of our Lord, 2020, signed Eric Holcomb, Governor of the state of Indiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow members of the NSWC Crane and NAVC family. It is my great privilege to be here today and part of this ceremony to honor these two great Navy officers and their families. This is a time-honored tradition and one that has been impeded in recent months due to the national health pandemic, but we are excited that we're here today to celebrate this change of command and continue to do this, albeit with a smaller crowd. But I know there's a lot of folks out there watching in live stream, so thank you for joining us today here. I obviously have strong feelings and warm regards for this command, as it's also where I cut my teeth for the past 20 years. The men and women of the Crane family are a special lot who care tremendously about the warfighters that they support on a daily basis, but also for their fellow employees, for our Navy, and for this great nation. They are providing critical support to the warfighters as we speak here today, and have continued to support them while we went through a health pandemic of epic proportions. During the past 3 years, under the principled, dedicated, and graceful leadership, graceful being the operative word there, under Captain Mark Oesterreich, NSWC Crane has reached heights that we had only dreamed about in the past 15 years. And as the executive director of the NAVC Warfare Centers, I can't begin to tell you how much that pleases me. My comments regarding Captain Oesterreich come from the heart, as I've had a chance to serve alongside him and with him for the past 3 years and have gotten to know him and his family intimately. And it's not to take away from the previous commanding officers who have served at this base, but this has been a special time in our history, and it's due in large part because Captain Oesterreich is an exceptional man. First and foremost, he is a principled individual who has great empathy and thoughtfully considers all perspectives of a situation before weighing in. It is perhaps his greatest trait that he listens, he truly listens, and makes you proud because he listens with an open mind to be able to work with him. He embodies the values that we talk about all the time at NSWC Crane: honesty, integrity, unity, service, and empowerment, and he models those every day for all to see. And you know, I'm not just saying that. Listen, I know we talk about values a lot at NSWC Crane. He really is that individual. He's that solid citizen who you can always count on to do the right thing. He is the guy who lives by the golden rule, who really does treat others as he would like to be treated. And as a result, he is beloved by all that have gotten to know him and work with him here at NSWC Crane. He quickly disarms you and makes you feel comfortable around him. And in that same quiet, confident, kind manner, he also can hold you accountable in a way that makes you want to please him as you do this work for him as well. It is the type of leadership, in my opinion, that inspires loyalty and trust and is critical for leading a command of this size. So I thank you for that. He is known for his terrible jokes. Tricia already talked about that. It is a clever type of genius to tell jokes so poorly that they land with a thud. And it takes all the pressure off for the joke teller and for the audience. And in so many ways, it made him real to the workforce. He did not come by this way of disarming the audience by chance and by golly or by luck. He's an incredibly bright individual. He's thoughtful in everything that he does, including figuring out how to be authentic and genuine with his workforce. So thank you for doing that. I have worked for 37 years in the public and private sectors, and I've worked with many, many leaders. And I can honestly say that these past 3 years have been the best part of my life from a work perspective, the absolute best. And it's due to the specialness of the man sitting right there. He really is that kind of guy. He will go down in the annals of this organization as one of the finest to ever fill the role of commanding officer. And I, for one, am happy that I was here for the ride. One of our personal traditions was meeting out front of Building 1 every morning for colors and the playing of the national anthem. We did that every day generally that we were here. And I had the chance this morning to go out and do that one last time. And Mark, I can't begin to tell you how much in these past 3 months I've missed that already and how much I'm going to miss that going forward. Thank you for being a great friend. Thank you for being an outstanding leader. And thank you for making a significant impact on the trajectory of this fine organization. Let's give a round of applause to Captain Mark Oesterreich. Kimberly, Matthew, and Luke. Yes. We have all enjoyed getting to know you better during this time frame and really appreciate the sacrifice that you've made as well as your husband and father has led this command. Matthew and Luke, I know I've told you in jest several times that you don't have to tell those silly jokes, and you don't, even though you do it better than Dad. I will say that too. You do it better than Dad. But I will tell you this in all seriousness, that if you emulate and try to be like your dad in the way he walks every day, what I'll tell you is you're going to have a rich and fulfilling life. And I really mean that. He's a great man, and I hope to see you guys grow up and be just like him, okay? And Kimberly, I'm going to miss all of you very much. And the good thing is you're moving into the neck of the woods that I'm playing in right now, so hopefully we'll get a chance to get together every now and again. 3 years ago, as a newly minted SES, I gave remarks at the change of command as Captain O replaced Captain Elder. It happened during a typhoon. Really, it did. And I think that's about all most will remember about that day. I kid you not, it was crazy. I'll never forget it. But I distinctly remember setting up on the stage and wondering what it would feel like 3 years later as the next commanding officer took the helm, and how I was curious how I'd feel about the passage of time and what's happened at our command. And today, I'll tell you with a sense of deja vu that the employees and leaders of NSWC Crane can take great comfort in knowing that the organization will be in the capable hands of another great Navy officer in Captain Duncan McKay. Captain McKay is a native of Tampa, Florida. He got his Bachelor's of Science in Physics from Florida State University in 1996. He further did his graduate work at MIT, where he got a naval engineer's degree, as well as his master's in mechanical engineering. Not surprisingly, he's part of the submarine community, just like Captain Oesterreich, and began his career on the USS Alexandria. He's an engineering duty officer. He's had an outstanding career in the Navy, and he brings significant background to the job that will help him lead NSWC Crane well. His personal decorations include the Meritorious Service Medal, the Navy Commendation Medal, and the Navy Achievement Medal, as well as various unit awards. And Todd and Abby, thank you for coming today here as well to mark this occasion. As I mentioned 3 short years ago, I'm struck by the incredible continuity that is inherent in the rich tradition of U.S. Navy change of command ceremonies. Captain Oesterreich, thank you for all you have done in service to this nation throughout your career, and importantly, for the service to this great installation for the past 3 years. And Captain McKay, welcome to what I believe to be one of the finest federal laboratories in the nation. I, for one, am convinced that NSWC Crane is once again in capable hands, and the men and women of this organization will serve the Navy and its warfighters well while providing leadership here from the nation's heartland. Let's give a round of applause to both of these fine gentlemen.
Presentation of a flag that's flown over the nation's capital. United States Navy, for the service is set forth in the following. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Legion of Merit to Captain Mark H. Oesterreich, United States Navy, for the service set forth in the following citation. for exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service as Commanding Officer, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Crane Division, Crane, Indiana, from July 2017 to July 2020. Captain Oesterreich's extraordinary leadership and superior management were directly responsible for the division's successful operations during his command tour. As commanding officer, Captain Oesterreich developed a strategic plan through 2030, focusing resources that structured NSWC Crane to be the best positioned to provide solutions and current future threats while capitalizing on current technologic expertise areas. In addition, he developed strategic goals supporting technical competencies and aligned mission areas with national priorities, while concurrently embracing the need for speed and capability and technology development. Furthermore, he greatly expanded workforce professional development through Crane University, shifting from a push model of offerings to a pull model, which consolidated the efforts across the division to provide training that was necessary, timely, and of high quality. As a result of his dedicated effort and operational acumen, he bolstered the Warfare Center's position as the preeminent acquisition, engineering, and supporting agency for electronic and hypersonic warfare weapons in the Navy. Captain Oesterreich's superior performance of duties highlights the culmination of 29 years of honorable and dedicated service. By his dynamic direction, keen judgment, and loyal devotion to duty, Captain Oesterreich reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, T.J. Moore, Vice Admiral, United States Navy. This time, the Chief's Mess would like to present you with a gift.
Captain, we wanted, on behalf of the Chief's Mess, we wanted to present a gift from us for your loyal dedication of over 29 years. It's comes from the Constitution wood, which is right here from also on base. It's broken a lot of router bits that also we've had to do. So it's tough wood, and also it's supporting the warfighter is our mission here. And we support the #1 ship and stuff that's been commissioned, which is used as Constitution. This wood is used to make sure that also that wood is readily available to the first ship still. But we just wanted to make sure and say thank you for your service.
So before I call Captain Oesterreich up, you sit down, sir. I want to personally thank you. Right when you had gotten here, I was here. I emceed your change of command when you took over, and Dr. Seidel's correct. It was a typhoon. It was an absolute mess, and I like to think of it as, I think it's tradition or it's superstition on our wedding day. If it rains, it's supposed to be successful. Well, it couldn't have rained any harder, and you couldn't have been more successful. But in that, I know your humbleness and the humbleness that you have in your heart, that the successes that we have, especially as naval officers, in the very beginning, it's through hard work and grit that you promote and that you do well. But as you grow in rank, you're really only as good as the people that are supporting you. So Kimberly, thank you for everything you've done, being his rock. But thank you, Captain, for everything that you've done. I'm supposed to tell you to come up here now, but I'm just going to tell you to come up here. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mark Oesterreich.
All right, thanks, Mike. Never quite sure what you're going to say as you go, and I was working this last night about 9 o'clock. I didn't get to polish it as much as I would have hoped, but it's definitely, hopefully you'll feel that, get what I feel. Brett, thank you for those great comments. It's more than us just working as a team. I look at you as a great friend now, so I'm looking forward to interacting with you in the future. I also want to thank everybody who put this change command ceremony together. Normally, it's a big to-do. There's circus tents and food and stuff and fancy and everything. And this COVID it's just put a kibosh on all of it, and it just doesn't feel right. But it is right how we're treating this change of command. We got very few people down here on the patio, even though we're outside. Got a separate group sequestered in another area watching, and another group in another area sequestered watching, so we can so we can do the best we can to minimize the spread. I don't like being the center of attention, which is odd because being captain, you are the center of attention. And so here we are. I'm the center of attention yet again. They already mentioned the typhoon that we had at the beginning. It was sailors by nature are somewhat superstitious. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but if you've seen some old sailing movies, you'll see some of those superstitions come out, and bad weather is never a good omen. But I'm so glad that things turned out the way they did, and they didn't turn out, despite all the kind words, it wasn't just me doing things. Man, there's so much I could say. But again, I hate being the center of attention. So I could say that this has been my best tour in the Navy. And I would be right because I'm the captain. That's how it works. The captain is always right. But it really isn't because of me. It's because of the dedicated men and women at NSWC Crane. All I feel I was a facilitator. And I did some other things. I know I helped remove some barriers, talk up the chain, across the chain, throughout the Navy, and just because I got a big Rolodex. And for my kids, that's a listing of phone numbers. It's old pieces of paper. We do it on phones now. But I knew a lot of people, and I could call them, and we could work things out. And that was great. But it's the people at Crane that make Crane. Their dedication always astounded me. I always had the confidence that they would do what needed to be done to support our warfighters, because it's not about Crane, it's not about me, it's about our Navy and its ships and the people that man them. That's what it's all about, and the people here get it. They will drive themselves into the ground to get things out to the fleet faster than the fleet expects. I loved coming to work every day. Absolutely. Well, most days. Some days were hard, but it's amazing the work we do here. I'm grateful for the people that supported me here. For the ELT and deputies who are all off hiding because of the COVID, you all are amazing. You all are different, but you all have a common cause of getting it done. And the deputies who really do all the work for the department heads, they're an amazing group of people too. I love talking to all of you. I love getting your advice and just charging ahead and getting great things done. To the first line supervisors here, those are guys down at the bottom leading the mess. They have the hardest job in the world, and every time I get a chance, I like to tell them they have the hardest job in the world, because they're brand new at management. They've got a lot to learn, and they've got a lot of people, and they're the where the rubber hits the road in solving problems and getting things done. They're an amazing group of people, and I want to thank them. I'm grateful for what they do and for the workforce that they lead. Whether you're an engineer, scientist, logistician, technician, you always make the hard look easy. And I was always amazed when I'm bringing the dignitaries around the base and showing them all the cool things we do. You guys were always very proud of your work, and it was evident. And I really, really appreciate you. That energy fed them and helped them to understand what we do, and then help what they do bring us even more success. Because I've always believed that success begets success. So we're on a roll, and we're going to keep on that roll. And it's hard. It's everything we do is hard. If what we did here wasn't hard, they wouldn't have us do it. They'd give it to maybe the Army to do. I'm sorry, General. But, and I'm not just grateful for them. That's just the last 3 years. My whole career, there's been, my whole life, there's been people that have taught me and supported me. Go all the way back to my elementary and junior high school teachers. They're the ones that beat the basics into me. You know, the basics of getting a good education. You know, the couple, you know, Mrs. Russell, Mrs. Knoll, Mr. Zimmerman. I still remember their names to the day, and there's many others, but lots of names. If I read all their names, we would be here till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you look off to the east over here, we may not get there without another downpour. So my high school teachers who taught me critical thinking and problem solving skills, they're amazing. Mr. Chappelle, Mr. Considine, you know, they did great things for me, and all the other teachers. To the Boy Scouts of America, I'm very grateful for that organization. You know, my scoutmaster and his assistants, Mr. Sipich, Mr. Swatosh, Mr. Anderson, thank you. Some of them aren't with us anymore, but they taught me a lot of things. And mostly I learned through failure. Boy, that's tough. Nobody likes to fail. But I tell you what, the one camp out where you're in charge of food and you forget to bring enough after a long day hiking through the Wisconsin woods, yeah, you learn pretty quick, bring more food than you think you need. And that's kind of been one of those back lessons in my mind. Always have a little more than you need to make sure you can get the job done. And the Scouts also gave me the baseline of the code I live by, whether it's the Scout Law or the Scout Oath. Very important, very important. It's just great guidelines to help you succeed in life. To all the sailors, and there's been thousands of sailors. I cannot count the times that they have taken more than their fair share for the team, of the hardship, of the difficulties, of the just rolling up their sleeves and diving down into that bilge. I've got some stories, but you know, they're not for a grand public like this on some of the great things they did. They're just kind of gross, but they did them anyways, and they didn't expect anything other than thanks. So you give it to them. To all the chief petty officers that I've got to work with, I tell you what, there's some famous people in here in my mind. Mark Frampus, Jim Carcow, Vince Docquilante, Joe Matteo, all master chiefs. And you always knew when you were screwing something up, particularly, you know, as a junior officer, because it would always start off with, "Now, sir," and you stand by for heavy rolls at that point. And he give you the unvarnished truth. But that's important in any organization. Get the facts. And then it's just facts. No drama, just facts. Again, hundreds of junior officers that have led me or I've led. For sharing the pain with them, deployments, and for giving me faith in the future that they can, that they'll grow and be leaders in our Navy, in our country. There's a plethora, there's another college word, a plethora of senior officers, nothing but leadership and mentorship from them. I've called up a couple of these folks and just gotten some really good advice when I backed myself hard into a corner. And it's always good to have somebody you can call and give you some good advice. So Captain Mark Powell, Admirals Mark Whitney, Vice Admiral Shoemaker, Rear Admiral Cheever, great Americans. They've all had a very important impact on me in how I lead and how I want to be as a person. And there's another pile of Navy civilians. I haven't just been on Navy ships. And Brett, you're in this pile. But Nate Lorenzo, Rod Rodriguez, Jim Kenny, Elmer Naples, and Don Berg. Those are the quick ones that came to my mind last night. Great. They're the ones who showed me what true civil servants really could do for everybody, and how they knew that project management and leadership and getting the job done without without being too obtuse about the situation. I'm forgetting more names than I can remember, mostly because I can't remember names in the first place, more than about 100. I've warned my wife someday I may forget her name. It's not, and I just so it won't be personal. Okay. I want to thank my parents. I truly, Mom and Dad, I wish you could be here. It's just too risky. And I hope you got logged in. If not, we'll get you a video. We think we got it to work, hopefully. You provided the foundation for everything that I was able to do. Whether it was, the butt whippings when I got way out of line, or just the forgiving me when I came up short, and mostly just for your confidence in me. It was amazing, and I'll never forget the impact you had on me. To my brother and sister, thanks for everything you've done. I know you may not think you've done a lot, but I do feel that I've been the absentee big brother for the last 29 some odd years. I left when I was 17, and I really haven't been home except to visit since. And I apologize I wasn't always around, but I believe you all understand that what I was doing was important, and I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for you and my country. To my sons, Luke and Matthew, you bring me great joy most of the time. Thanks for putting up with all the moving. It's not easy. Having to change friends, change schools. I know it's not easy. And that's right. My youngest just said, I'm not changing friends. I'm just getting new ones. He's so wise. But okay, so getting new friends instead of, as any parent does, I have high hopes for you. I just want you to remember, you can always lean on me, no matter what. Can you guys come up, please? I had planned to give you something big, but because of COVID, big can't be done quickly. If it's not in stock, or it takes too long to ship before you move, you'll get something, I promise. But in the interim, I'm going to give you these coins. These are command coins. What you do is I'm going to shake your hand, and you grab the coin from my hand. Kimberly, my beloved wife. I know you weren't sure when we got married. Oh no, I forgot how many years ago. It was on November 11th. I do remember that. Is it 15 years now? 14? 14. Okay, good. Whew. Got close. I was within 10%. Wow, it's been hard. Lots has happened. Lots of water under that hole. I know you're ready for this ride to be over. So here we are. Well, we're not there yet. Just got a few more minutes of this ceremony. A move. I'm going to get a new job. We're going to be in a new house. The usual. I'm going to try not to move for at least another 10 years. But again, I'm not in control sometimes. But you've always been there for me. And I know I haven't always been there for you. contemporaneously. I've usually been there, but sometimes there's a time delay. Usually it's satellite phone related for a ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but usually we could get together, but there's just not much more I can say. You're amazing. And then you stepping in here and taking that blood drive and pushing it to a fantastic place. It's just amazing. And I think that's just going to continue here. We've got some great people who are taking over from you. Well, I've got something for you too. Just to tell you, they're my favorite flowers. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Navy. To all who see these presents, greetings. To Kimberly Jo Neff Oesterreich. By the authority invested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, patriotic, and devoted service during your husband's military career. Your unfailing support and understanding helped immeasurably to make possible his lasting contribution to the nation. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your husband did. It's weird talking about yourself. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks you, and I thank you. Signed, Brett A. Seidel, Technical Director, NSWC Center. All right, Luke and Matthew, you get a letter too. To Matthew James and Luke Wayne Oesterreich, by the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring the frequent and long separations from your father as he served his country. These months, indeed years, that he spent away from you constitute a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and your family. You see, he left you in order to ensure that you inherited a safer world, a surer peace. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your father did. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks both you and your father for enduring these separations. Signed, Brett Seidel. Cordell, good morrow. Thank you for everything you've done for me these past 3 years. I look forward to staying in touch with you and Jimmy. I feel like my service is diminutive, tiny, based on what you've done for Crane and our nation. As Mike said, our warfighters don't know Miss Cordella George, but they know you're here. And after 31 years, it's just amazing. I know it's gonna be a tough transition, but I think you'll enjoy it. Please let me accept these flowers. You're a fantastic lady. Hello, Jane. Just to let you in on the joke, every day I'd come into the office, I'd greet Cordella with a good morrow, and I'd greet Jane with a long, protracted hello, Jane. Just kind of a fun thing to do. Jane, your 49 years of service is just unbeatable. You know, there's not many people that get that far in the service of their country. It's not just a service to the government, but a service to your country. And I'm happy to be the one to present you with some flowers as a token of appreciation from Crane and the Crane community and our country. So thank you for your service. I've had a great ride. It's been tough. Seen a lot of things, got a lot of stories. I'm looking forward to telling those stories. Some are clean, most are clean, some are not so clean. But I'd be remiss not to leave without a quick joke. This one's It's in the delivery dock. Now, boys, you know this joke. I guarantee it. It's a quick one. What do you call a fish with no eyes? Fish. See, Doc, it's in the delivery. Everybody was laughing all through internet land. I'm getting a new horse today, and I'm going to hop on that horse and I'm going to ride it. Not riding off into the sunset. I'm riding off into a bright future, the future of my kids. It's going to be great watching them grow up, seeing what they do, and living the rest of my life with my wife. Thanks, everybody.
You're going to stay right there, sir. Yes, sir. You're going to read your orders.
Oh, that's right.
Will the guests please rise? Attention to orders.
Bupper's Order 1400. Official retirement orders for Captain Mark Harold Oesterreich, United States Navy. Your request to be transferred to the retired list was approved by the Secretary of the Navy effective 1 October 2020. On 1 October 2020, you will be transferred to the retired list with the grade of captain and with retired pay of captain pursuant to provisions of Title 10 U.S. Code Section 6323.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Duncan McKay, United States Navy, will now read his orders. Attention to orders.
I will now read my orders. Bupper's Order 0630, official change duty orders for Captain Thomas Duncan McKay, United States Navy, to Naval Surface Warfare Center Division, Crane, Indiana. Permanent duty station, Indiana, Crane, for duty. Report as commanding officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division, Captain McKay.
Dr. Seidel, Major General Tooley, Ms. Herndon, fellow commanding officers, and other distinguished guests viewing remotely, I bid you good morning. Thank you all very much for attending today, especially under these unique circumstances. I would also like to thank my brother Todd and his daughter Abby for making the trip to be here today. I'm not sure how many others are out there, but I'd like to say hello to other of my family members and friends that may be viewing. My father Donald and his friend Paula viewing from Florida, Todd's wife Edie and their other daughter Catherine, my brother Matt and his wife Katie viewing from North Carolina, and last but not least, my beloved wife Allison viewing from Maine. And to any other colleagues and shipmates of duty stations past that are watching, I thank you for taking time out of your day to log in to the ceremony. For all my friends and family viewing, I want to thank you for being a part of my life and career. First, my father. Dad, it would be impossible to relay all the ways you've made me who I am as a person and as a naval officer. So I'll just try and boil it down to this. Thank you for raising me right. I still remember the advice you gave me before I shipped out to OCS, wisdom that you learned as a graduate of Parris Island. And that advice was pretty straightforward, and I keep it to this day. Just keep your mouth shut and your eyes and ears open. And it served me well. I love you. To my brothers Todd and Matt, although we didn't always get along great growing up, and I don't think that's unusual looking back on it, I'm glad we are the team we are today. I love you guys. And last but not least, my wife Allison, I could not be here without you. We could not be here without you, as this is just a ceremony celebrating your accomplishments as it is mine. I love you. And for all the old shipmates and colleagues watching, thank you for all the experiences we've shared, the things we've taught one another, and let's face it, all the commiseration we've endured together. In particular, I'm thinking of old shipmates from my repair officer days on the MRS land, my repair officer days at what is now TRF Bangor, the division heads there, John Howley, Mike Ed Ingalls, and Mike Carpentier. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. And then last but not least, my friends and shipmates at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, fellow captains Bill Schultz and Sam Cordero. Thanks. Hang in there, guys. My old COs, Captain Dan Etlick and Captain David Hunt, thank you both for all your leadership and mentoring over the years. And then last but not least, my true brothers in arms at a lot of my time there at Portsmouth, Scott Kimmel and Mark Evans. Thank you guys. Hang in there as well. I hope you guys are staying safe too. I've told the story of how I came to be at Crane to a few folks since I've been on station for the past 2 weeks, and it was coincidentally because of a change of command. 8 or 9 years ago, I was serving as aide to the NAVC commander, Vice Admiral Kevin McCoy, and he planned on attending the change of command ceremony between a friend of his, Captain Lasota, United States Navy, and Colonel Pratt, United States Marine Corps, here at NSWC Crane. It was my first visit to the command, although I'd heard about it. As a submariner, we hear about a certain submarine batteries that are handled at Crane. So I kind of knew what Crane was. So we made the trip from Washington, D.C., flew into Indianapolis, and then drove down to Crane. And I recall it being the fall time frame, and the drive was absolutely magnificent with fall colors. And then during the visit itself, after the ceremony, I learned a little bit more about what Crane does, mainly from my boss, the Admiral. And between the countryside and the uniquely interesting work that Crane performs, from that moment on, I filed NSWC Crane away in the back of my mind and told myself that if I ever get a chance to come here for work, I have to take it. And so last year that opportunity arose, I took it, and I'm humbled and thankful to be here today. If Admiral McCoy is watching this, Admiral, I have a lot to thank you for, and that trip to Crane back in 2011 was just one of many fantastic experiences I had while working on your staff. Thank you again for everything. It certainly helped me make me who I am today, and certainly helped me get to this podium to give this speech. I hope you and Terry are very safe wherever you are. Captain Oesterreich, thank you for a wonderful transition period. Thank you as well, Kimberly and Lucas and Matthew, for helping me get settled into the area. Your warm hospitality helped me overcome the traditional difficult adjustment period at times such as this. And Mark, you and I both know that a good leader is reflective of his team, and they are in turn reflective of him. NSWC Crane is one of the brightest, if not the brightest star in the NAVC constellation of field activities. And I can't help but see how your steady hand and level head have made Crane one of the premier commands in the United States Navy. I hope to live up to the legacy you have left behind, and I assure you I will do my best to preserve and nurture this fantastic organization. Finally, to the good men and women of Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane, I want to thank you for your service. As I just described, I came here initially with only an inkling of what you do, but I definitely knew I wanted to be a part of it. Over the past 2 weeks, I've seen a lot more of what you do, but I'm guessing I still have only scratched the surface. I know one thing is for certain: what you do every day is truly awe-inspiring, incredible, and frankly motivating. Your professionalism, can-do attitude, perseverance, and dedication to the United States Navy and the United States of America are evident every time I meet with any of you, no matter the topic of conversation or discussion. So again, as a fellow citizen of this country, I want to thank you for your service. I am humbled and thankful to be part of this amazing team, and I am very much looking forward to working with you in the coming years. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mark Oesterreich will now retire from active duty. Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy. This is to certify that Captain Mark Harold Oesterreich was transferred from active duty to the Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy on the first day of July 2020, after 29 years of service. This certificate is awarded as a testimonial of faithful and honorable service. Signed, Dr. Brett A. Seidel, SES Executive Director, NSWC HQ. The song, known as the Navy Hymn, is a musical benediction that has long held a special appeal to sailors, especially those of the American Navy and the Royal Navies of the British Commonwealth. More recently, it has even become a part of a French naval tradition. As he prepared to set sail for the United States in 1860, the experience of having survived a furious storm in the Mediterranean inspired the Reverend William Whiting to write the ode, Eternal Father, Strong to Save, otherwise known as the Navy Hymn. Please join us as we meditate on the future of those present today and also on the fate of those who have gone to their safe harbor with the Eternal Father. Will the guests please rise for the benediction? Miss
Again, I ask you to join me as I conclude our time together with the benediction. Please guide Captain McKay that he may act justly and wisely as he commands this organization. I pray you grant him patience in every challenge. Please give Captain Oesterreich your joy and peace as he leaves military service and discovers your next plan for his life. And we also share our gratitude for Cordilla and Jane, who have served as civilians and now will transition to retirement. May they also know your joy and peace.
And for those watching, I ask that you please heed these words. These mean a lot to a sailor. Aye, mates, for 29 years, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in school learning our trade, this sailor stood the watch. And yes, even before some of us were born, this sailor stood the watch. As our families watched the storm clouds of war brewing on the horizons of history, this sailor stood the watch. He stood the watch for 29 years. He stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety and each and every night, knowing that a sailor stood the watch. Today, we are here to say, shipmate, the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have trained, guided, and led. Stand by to pipe the side. There's a shipmate going ashore. Captain Oesterreich will now request permission from Dr. Seidel to go ashore one last time. Captain, United States Navy, retired, departing. Mark, Kimberly, Matthew, and Luke Oesterreich, Navy family, departing. Naval Surface Warfare Center, Crane Division, departing.